Joining us now to react to Kristen's report, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton, former Clinton pollster and advisor Mark Penn, author of the upcoming book, The Russia Hoax, The Illicit Scheme to Clear Hillary Clinton and Frame Donald Trump. All right, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. All right, guys, I'm going to start with you, Greg. I mean, you know, we're sending now this guy Manafort to jail, claiming the judge is saying that he actually tried to tamper with a couple of witnesses. Right. Why is he in jail and the rest of these bozos not?
Well, that's a very good question, and the judge should be blaming herself. She is the one who failed to issue a no-contact order with regard to any witnesses. And I've read through the court documents. Andrew Weissman and Robert Mueller's evidence of this is incredibly scant and cryptic. It is enough to revoke bail because that's an incredibly low threshold.
Right.
But they also are charging him with obstruction of justice in a superseding indictment. That's utterly preposterous given the evidence.
But Greg, look, you and I both know that for them to do this, they indict him again, superseding indictment, they start threatening him, and now they throw him in jail. They must be desperate because this is a guy who's charged with a crime that occurred 12 years ago that half the people in Washington who are lobbying should be in the same lockup with him. What do they think he has on Trump? He only was with him for a few months.
They know he has nothing on Trump, but that has never stopped prosecutors from putting a document in front of somebody that they're squeezing and say, sign this. They don't care, those prosecutors, about the rule of law and perjury. They suborn perjury by squeezing witnesses all the time, and that is a crime.
All right, Tom Fitton, you know, the prosecutor in me and the way I ran an office, they wouldn't allow that kind of thing, but the feds are a different breed of cat. Tom, your take on this whole thing with Manafort being in jail, what do you think they think he's going to say other than perjure himself?
You know, look, the anti-corruption watchdog in me suggests this is all this is retaliation by the Mueller team for Manafort's pushing back against his authority.
Yeah,
I think it's overkill, and I think the Mueller operation recognizes that Manafort is its reason for being. There really is no Mueller investigation to speak of substantively without this big Manafort indictment, these multiple indictments now. You shut down the Manafort investigation, and really everything kind of flitters away because the Trump investigation is going nowhere. There is no Russia collusion. And again, it's a nice distraction from that IG report that confirms the Mueller operation was generated as a result of these crooked FBI agents who hated Donald Trump, who set this thing in motion and were working for Mueller for a good period of time. Frankly, the whole thing's been tainted. I'm thinking back to the Whitehurst scandal with the FBI labs. Throw out all the cases these folks were involved with, including Manafort.
The poisonous tree. But you know what's amazing to me, Tom, and you're the one that I've always given so much credit to for through your FOIA, Freedom of Information. But, you know, now we find out, why was this text never given to Congress? The one where he says, you know, we're going to stop it. He's not going to be president, is he? No, we're going to stop it. I mean, somebody's got to pay for not giving that to Congress.
You know, and you can't blame the Obama Justice Department for that, Judge. It's this Justice Department, this FBI that's been covering up all these text messages, all these emails. They're fighting us in court right now on every scandal issue the IG has raised.
Yep.
They haven't given us one text message. They haven't given us the McCabe text messages.
Yep.
They're holding back information about DOJ collusion during the Obama administration with the Clinton campaign. This Justice Department, not the Obama Justice Department.
Yeah. All right. So, Mark Penn, I mean, as you listen to this, and what Tom Fitton says is absolutely the case. This is the Republican Justice Department.
Well, but it's really a state unto itself. I think what's happened here with the recusal and the independent counsel and Rod Rosenstein is that they're not accountable to Congress. They can't be fired by the president. They've kind of come in and created a government of their own here, which we thought when we got rid of the independent counsel statute could no longer happen. And absolutely. And look, you see what's happening with Manafort. I mean, you look, Weinstein is out on $1 million bail.
Harvey Weinstein, right.
Right. Madoff, $10 million bail. Now tell me, what league is Manafort in? The judge here is in cahoots with the independent counsel to pressure Manafort to the limit because he's the only guy pleading not guilty.
You know, I got to tell you something, Mark. I mean, that obviously is very interesting. But as the public has watched this whole thing proceed, who would think if Manafort turned on the president now that anything he said had any truth to it, given the fact that they've been squeezing him for a year? But I'm going to go to you, Greg, on this whole thing with the FBI. Yeah. Now, right now, Horowitz is going to testify on Monday.
Yes.
He's going to try to maybe, you know, explain why, in spite of these prejudicial statements, the report and the actions are not sufficient to call for a criminal charge against anyone.
What he needs to say is, look, I couldn't prove that their bias influenced decisions. I couldn't prove it.
Greg, look at this. I got to show you this. This is proof. It's called 500 pages of proof.
Look, it is a compendium of bias, if you will. But the Horowitz said, look, did it influence the decision to clear Hillary Clinton? I can't prove it through testimonial or documentary evidence. Well, of course he can't. Nobody puts their crimes in writing. Nobody confesses to Horowitz, we did it for political reasons and obstructed justice.
This is crazy. This is crazy. What? Tom Fitton, I tried a lot of murder cases with absolutely no eyewitness testimony. It's called circumstantial evidence. This is more than circumstantial. This is what people are saying. They are describing what their state of mind is.
Well, you know, unfortunately, the Inspector General is a typical government bureaucrat. He sees these set of facts that everything that Hillary Clinton did, all of these decisions that the prosecutors made and the FBI made that fell down in her favor and helped protect her, they all were perfectly defensible, and he couldn't second-guess them. You know, look, I don't buy any of that. People should read the report themselves, and they're going to see a Clinton email investigation that was a sham that should be reopened, and a Russia investigation irredeemably tainted by this anti-Trump bias. I just can't believe we're still talking about a Mueller investigation after Mr. Strzok said his goal was to stop Trump.
Right. Mark, and last question to you. What happens to Jim Comey's book, A Higher Loyalty Now?
Well, look, I hope sales are cut off. I mean, the whole way he has acted here in defiance, really, when you look at it now, he was in defiance of everyone when he was FBI director. So you'd expect him to be in defiance of everyone now that he's a private citizen. Look, I have thought, and I wrote a piece in the Hill, a higher disloyalty. I think that he really, you know, brought down the FBI. It's clear to me that Hillary was a winner in this report because they said all the actions were reasonable. I think Trump was a winner because the Strzok tests really show the anti-Trump animus, and I think Comey and the FBI were losers. They didn't operate in a even remotely professional way.
And
all right, gentlemen.
He was going to be destroyed by this.
That's why he ran out and got the book done. I've got to go. Time is up.